What is going on, everybody? As most of you know, I've been laboring away at my custom Madden roster the 4th year in a row here, the #1 community roster here for Madden NFL. I do have a new video here that I got to give a shout out to Chris Leach for the idea. I did want to get some Madden content out there because those that have been following TFG Plays, my other YouTube channel, I have been doing some live streams, but we have been a little deprived on this channel. So we are going to have a little fun here, do a 3-year rebuild. No playage in this. It's all going to be team building here, and we are going to do the Oakland Raiders and see if we can get a Super Bowl here under John Gruden in honor of Hard Knocks here. But I do have some announcements here. I mentioned that roster, so I am working on it. This is the first time I'm going to give an ETA here. So I am going to give a soft ETA of next Thursday. That is Thursday, August 15th. It could fluctuate again, guys. You can stay up to date with where I am on Twitter at TFG_football. And a big announcement here for the PS4 community here. Thanks to a lot of help from the community, there will be a roster on PlayStation 4. So shout out to Riz Ice and everyone that is helping with that roster. The official ThatFranchiseGuy roster on PlayStation 4 is TFG Real 2020 by Riz Ice. That's RIZZICE. So make sure you download that, like it on PlayStation 4 so people know that that is the official TFG roster for PlayStation. It is a work in progress. I don't have an ETA on that, but it will probably be not long after I finish mine here on Xbox. So thank you for that. Also, as a large majority of you guys know, there is a big error, at least on Xbox. I don't know if it's existing on PlayStation, but same as last year, difficulty downloading the roster. If you're getting that error message, I have 3 rosters uploaded. You can try all of them. You can try reinstalling your game, deleting your files. You know, I don't have a hard solution for you. Some people have said those solutions have worked, some not so much. I encourage you, if you are having that roster error, please tag EA, tag Clint, tag the roster guys. I'll put their Twitter handles in the description. They are aware of the glitch, but the more people that alert them that it's bothering them and impacting their enjoyment of the game, the higher that glitch is going to get pushed up their bug fixes. So seriously, guys, it will help. The more of you that do that, tag them on Twitter, they do see it, the more likely it is that that error will get fixed and we don't have to deal with it. Lastly here, as far as the roster is concerned, obviously this is a massive overhaul. It takes a lot of time out of my hands. If you enjoy the roster, if it brings more enjoyment to your franchise mode, makes it more realistic, you see it as a DLC-sized upgrade to the game, please do consider donating. PayPal.me/TFGFootball. I will drop the link in the description below. Any little bit helps. Or consider joining my Patreon. Again, the link in the description. This month we'll be doing 2 NFL film breakdowns. I'm going to try and get my fantasy football draft guide out as soon as possible. I don't know if we're going to have time to get to that this year or not, but your support goes further than you know. So that's enough plugging. Let's get into the Raiders rebuild here. Some ground rules. The roster overhaul, I have the quarterbacks through the tight ends complete. If you want to check out their overall ratings, I did post the spreadsheet in the description down below. But we are, again, not doing any playage here, all realistic moves. Training will be automatic. We will try and make trades, but only to a realistic degree. So not a whole lot of ground rules in something that we're not playing any games, but just needed to establish those. Now, have no fear, we will be doing our traditional, fully edited rebuild series, just like we did with the Dolphins, the Giants, the Dolphins, and Broncos. As soon as the roster is fully complete, as you can see, the defensive players and the offensive line ratings are still, in this rebuild, going to be those of EA's. So I'm starting off as an owner here because I do want to switch over to the Las Vegas Raiders. We're starting 0-2 in the preseason. Not a whole lot of camp battles going on. We'll set the depth chart when we get to week 1, when we get through the preseason. And I'm really just going to do the upgrades for the players that I could see, being a part of the future for the team. we'll be autoing a lot of upgrades for lesser players. Good upgrade there for Marcel Aitman. So 17 cuts. We do have an injury to Benson Mayo. Not too worried about that. So we're going to do these cuts a little different here. We're going to combine our cuts with going through the rosters. So I am actually going to keep Nathan Peterman and cut Mike Glennon, my dude, Nate Peterman. Now, because we aren't playing, probably not going to be able to resurrect his career as that lowly 55 overall, but he is actually a usable 55 overall if you're doing a Raiders rebuild. So Isaiah Crowell, he is going to go on IR. So I will see if we can keep those 4 running backs. We'll keep our fullback for now. At wide receiver, I think we can probably cut these 3 right here. Rico Gafford. We'll move you to the practice squad, converted corner. But Keon Hatcher, sorry, you are not going to make the squad this year. Dwayne Harris, good kick returner, but we can have Ryan Grant return kicks for us. Glad we at least got the wide receiver ratings in here because, and frankly the running back, because, you know, Ryan Grant was a 78 overall in EA's ratings. Josh Jacobs was 74. He was like the 5th running back on the roster, so at least we're accurate here. Josh Jacobs is going to be that star first-round running back. That's the beauty of the TFG roster. If you're new to this channel, that's what we're talking about there with that roster overall. Really excited for Foster Moreau here. We also have Darren Waller. He's kind of a camp hype man. We'll see if he can do anything for us in the simulations. Probably not. But we can clean up this tight end room a little bit. Derek Carrier, you know, good athlete, but we really have enough athleticism there as is. A lot of speed in this tight end room. We will keep a long snapper here to be realistic. I'm going to go with the younger, less expensive long snapper, even though Andrew DePaula is a vetted long snapper there, but it doesn't really matter here. The offensive line. Now this is where we get into where I have not done my ratings overall, unfortunately. We do have some decent depth on this offensive line, actually, but I'm going to let Denzel Good go. We've got enough tackle depth as is. At D-line, we got to keep in mind we lost Myola for a little bit. We're running a 4-3 here. I am going to practice squad Quentin Bell. He was, I think, a 7th round pick here. Not quite refined enough to make the team. We'll cut Alex Barrett. Max Crosby, a good athlete here. Arden Key, can he resurrect? Or not even resurrect, just get his career started here. Our interior defensive line is pretty set. I'm going to let Gabe Wright go. At linebacker, Kyle Wilbur might be a captain here, but we are going to let him go. We've got enough veterans here to hear Whitehead, Brandon Marshall, Vontez Burfict, some younger guys, Markel Lee, Nicholas Morrow, and Jason Kabinda might develop here. We'll see. At corner, we actually have a decent room here. Would love to get Trayvon Mullen on the field. He will not be buried that much on my own roster when we get to it, but we're going to let DJ Killings go here. Keeping 6 corners there. At safety, Jordan Richards, we'll let you go. Dalen Leavitt, we will practice squad you. And leave it you on the practice squad. I think Eric Harris is not going to play here. We're going to let him go. Good special teamer, but not enough room on the roster for him. We've got some safety depth here. We might consider trading Carl Joseph because I think the Raiders might do that in real life. He's a little redundant with their first round pick there, Jamal Adams. So 3 more cuts to make. Let's see. Who do we have to let go? Probably smart to let a running back go. I think we can let Jordan Devy go. Rodney Hudson's such a rock there at center. I'm not too worried about that. And then I'm going to go ahead and let David Sharp go. He has not worked out at left tackle. So let's check out some upgrades here. LaMarcus Joyner gets an upgrade. We're going to go zone because he is taken over as that rangy free safety here. I know they have said they might try him at slot corner as well, but they paid him money to be a safety. And if I am the general manager here, I'm telling Gruden, I don't really care what you want to do. We're paying him to play safety. He's going to play safety. We can find a nickel corner somewhere else. We'll go power here on the offensive line. Always good to upgrade there. That's a big focus here for this Raiders team, is hoping this offensive line can grow. You got the big Trent Brown signing there. So let's advance to week 1. We are going to take a peek at the cuts and see who gets released. Try and upgrade the team through that way. We do have a new injury, and it's JJ Nelson is going to go on the IR. So that does actually open up one roster spot at least, but it does kind of suck to lose that speed for this team. So while we are trying to win, I definitely, as the general manager of this team, am trying to get younger and faster. And David Sills actually gets released by the Buffalo Bills, gets picked up on the Bengals practice squad. I see him as an upgrade to Marcel Aitman, so I am going to sign David Sills and practice squad Aitman. Ted Karras gets released by the New England Patriots. I see him as an upgrade. Then on the D-line, Dewan Smoot did not make the Jacksonville Jaguars team. I would not mind bringing him in. Compete with that young edge group. Linebacker, not a lot of players here getting released. Akello Witherspoon gets released by the 49ers. Actually would not stun me if that happened. A second-round pick that has struggled there. But let's bring him across the bay. That's a position of need for us. And then at safety, we should be pretty set. Can we upgrade at kicker at all? Punter maybe? I'm actually not sure. So we do have to make 2 cuts there. We mentioned Marcel Aitman is going to go to the practice squad. And then I am going to release James Cowser as we just upgraded at defensive end by signing Dewan Smoot. So we got a divisional game week 1. Let's go ahead and set the depth chart. Should be pretty much in place. Big prove-it year here for Derek Carr. Wide receiver room's looking good. Tight end, I'm going to start Foster Moreau. And I'm actually going to make Darren Waller the number 2. Luke Wilson can play a depth role. Offensive line should be set. Defensive end, we're starting Clelin Ferrell. Josh Morrow will start, but Arden Key is going to be the edge rusher there. On passing downs, good on the interior. Linebacker, we are just going to start the veterans here. Taking this kind of win now, establish the culture type of approach here. Nevin Lawson will be our starting nickel corner. And I am just going to go ahead and start Trayvon Mullen as the number 2 corner on the outside there and hope that he can develop. And at safety for now, Jonathan Abram will take a seat and try to develop, but we are definitely going to be looking to trade Carl Joseph there, as I believe he's nearing a contract extension. Jalen Richard will be our primary return man. Don't really want to risk injury with Antonio Brown there. Long snapper, we might as well put our actual long snapper there who we're keeping. Third down running back is going to be Josh Jacobs, that true 3-down back here. Slot wide receiver, we're good to go there. Rush end, they put Vontaze Burfict in there. Might as well take a second while I'm doing this to plead yet again for EA to fix this freaking edge listing for these guys. This was a step in the right direction with the rush end, the rush defensive tackle, but it does not work. As you can see right here, they put our defensive end at interior on third down, and then they put our outside linebacker, our off-ball outside linebacker as our edge rusher. Just does not work. So we're going to go with PJ Hall as our second third down rush interior guy, the sub linebacker. I think Jonathan Abram actually is going to play some sub linebacker for us until we figure out what we're doing with Joseph. I'll go ahead and put Burfict as actually we're going to go with Nicholas Moreau. Good coverage guy. Slot corner, we are set. Practice squad, all right. So no prompt yet to relocate, hoping that comes here pretty soon, but we got a couple of division games to start here. We're going to go week by week to start this thing, and we start 0-1. Close loss versus the Broncos. So we go from our last rebuild being the Broncos to now playing the Broncos. Derek Carr, a little game manager-esque there. Not sure what happened with Josh Jacobs, why Doug Martin was more involved, but the offense just not able to get enough done. Any sacks or anything. Good to see Hurst and Furrow getting involved. No picks, but, I'll take that. Hopefully we can bounce back here, beat the Chiefs. It's not going to be easy. We do have some upgrades. Nice. Furrow, good start for him. I actually want to develop his power moves a little bit. They only gave him 67 power moves. He's a heavier edge guy. I'd like him to have some power to him, so a good boost there. 2 power moves. Tyrell Williams gets an upgrade as well. Just going to focus on him being a deep threat. That's really all he's good for. Good upgrade, though. Nice. Did get a new injury. Trent Brown out for 7 weeks. The big free agent signing. Rough start there. It's going to leave us pretty weak at tackle position. Putting Brandon Parker, a second-year player out of NC A&T, in there. Let's see how he can hold up. Here we go against the Chiefs. We did just lose Marcel Aitman to the Saints. And we lost 35-27, so the defense unable to contain Patrick Mahomes. By the way, on that roster sheet that I have posted below, I do have development change suggestions as I've kind of gone. Now they have much to go, but those changes have not been made in this franchise mode. For those that are asking, we're going with the default dev traits and the default superstar X factors. So for the defense, Hurst did get a half a sack. We did get a pick from Nevin Lawson, but the defense just unable to get the job done. And we are 0-2. This Raiders team that I project to have a pretty down season. Off to a bad start. We're going to go ahead and import my custom draft class, another file that is very much work in progress. But I'm going to go ahead and automate college players because I am trying to keep this thing moving. So we are going to simulate, I think, about 3 weeks here, and we'll come back and check how the team's doing. Going to try and stop this at our bye week. So we get a message for a breakout player, Hunter Renfrow. See what the simulation can do for him. So we are 0-4-1. Things are not going well here in Oakland. Unable to stop it right at the bye week, but we will treat this like it is our bye week. So Derek Carr, just 4 touchdowns through 5 games. Jacobs is having a great season, though. You like to see that. Antonio Brown, a big disappointment to this point. That's a surprise to me. For the defense, Josh Morrow has 4 sacks. Furl only 2. 2 picks for Gary and Conley. Good to see. Still have not been prompted to move this organization, which is kind of frustrating. Hopefully I didn't simulate past that. We will take a look at negotiations here during the bye. So here we go. Carl Joseph asking for a contract. We are 0-4-1. I am going to look to trade Carl Joseph. He's a box safety. It's less valuable. We are not looking like a playoff team at this moment. I'm thinking NFC, a team that might be competing here or looking to turn it around quick that needs a safety. Maybe a team like the Dallas Cowboys. Don't have much of a safety presence there. They do have Will Parks. Not sure if they traded for him or what. Is there anyone else we could think of? Perhaps actually never mind. The Seahawks signed Eric Berry. They do not need the Cam Chancellor replacement there. So I think the Dallas Cowboys is the best bet. I don't know if they already traded for Will Parks or if he was just a free agent pickup. That's probably the more likely scenario. I don't think computers really make a whole lot of trades. But Carl Joseph, to me, worth a 3rd round pick. He's a decent player. And they are going to accept that. Nice, smooth trade there. So that's going to put Jonathan Abrams, our 1st round pick, into the starting lineup. It will allow us to sign someone. I think we need some safety depth after that signing. I'm just going to go ahead and sign Mike Adams. So Abram will start for us. Back to our negotiations. So we do have the center, Rodney Hudson. He's asking for a 3-year contract. I'm going to pay him. He has been a rock for this team. I want to keep him happy. He's going to get about $12 million. He's not going to accept that first offer. We've got the veterans are up. Nevin Lawson just wants a 1-year contract extension. I'm actually going to re-sign him because we don't have a whole lot of answers in the nickel there. So he is not quite happy with that yet. Other than that, the rest of these guys we will probably let test the market. So we got upgrades. Josh Jacobs gets 1. I'll go with a power back. Not going to get a whole lot there. Oof. Claylan Furl. We're going to go with the power rusher again. So he's up to 71 power. He's slowly creeping up there. Derek Carr, we'll just stick with field general. Decent upgrade. A lot of young players here getting upgrades. We're going to go power rusher for PJ Hall. Does get 2 block shedding in that. That's good to see. Arden Key, speed rush. Smoot, speed rush. 2 finesse moves for him. He's up to 74 finesse. And Nick Nelson, we did say we don't have an answer in the slot, but he is a guy that could be that slot answer if Nevin Lawson stays stubborn there. Up to a 70 overall now for Nelson. So that's a good bye week pause there. I am going to skip ahead a few weeks here. We'll probably go to about week 12, see how we're looking. So it stops us at week 13. We are 2-8. Dallas Cowboys reaping the benefits of that trade, 9-2. So we are competing for that number 1 overall pick. The Texans having just a catastrophic season. The Ravens and the Dolphins struggling there. A couple of teams that are going to be competing with us for quarterbacks. Let's take a peek at our stats at this point in the season. Derek Carr really not getting the job done. 10 touchdowns, 11 picks. That's bench worthy to me. Josh Jacobs, would love to see you get to 1,000 yards. Antonio Brown's turning it around. Foster Moreau has played pretty well for us. On the defensive side of the ball, Cleveland Ferrell, all right, he's getting a little better. 5-sack season. 3 picks for Garyon Conley, 2 picks for Trayvon Mullins, so at least the stats have been okay for some of these guys. And Lawson, our 3 corners really playing pretty well there, in my opinion. But we are going to make a quarterback change. It's time to move on from Derek Carr here. I think most of us saw it coming. It was a make-or-break season for him, and I think break is the adjective we would use to describe what Derek Carr is doing for this team right now. So Nate, the great Peterman, is going to take over and see what he can accomplish here. Let's take a look at our upgrades. Maurice Hurst, we're going to go speed rusher for him. He's actually out for the season, though. That's really unfortunate. We're going to place him on IR for the remainder of the season. Cleveland Ferrell does get an upgrade. We are going to stick with power rusher. His overall isn't going up because he is a speed rusher at the top there, but he is getting better, getting more versatility to him in his game. Foster Moreau here. We're going to go with a possession. Bling, bling, bling. Hunter Renfrow. Slot. Trayvon Mullen gets one. Just want to keep him balanced, so we're going to go zone. Nice 2-zone upgrade there. And Nate Peterman getting started this week is going to get an upgrade. We'll go ahead with the scheme fit improviser. He's getting a 2 overall boost. Pretty good upgrade there. We'll see what he's got for us. We'll auto the rest of these guys. Going to take another crack at extending these guys. I do want to re-sign Rodney Hudson. Even though he'll regress a little bit, he'll still be able to play pretty well. So hopefully he likes that. Good. We got our captain back. Nevin Lawson. Let's see. What do I have to do to get you to stick around here? You're going to have plenty of cap space to spend on next season. Hopefully we can have a good draft. But here we go to the end of the season. And sure enough, we did lose out, going 2-13. I'll just take a quick peek at the top of the standings there. The Cowboys, Chiefs, Falcons, Browns fulfilling their destiny. Zeke wins MVP, a running back getting the job done there. I'm just going to see if we won any awards here. We do win Offensive Rookie of the Year for Josh Jacobs, so hopefully he has some good boosts there. That's awesome. See if he got to 1,000 yards probably. Garyon Conley in the top 10 for best defensive back. So despite a disappointing win season, we do have some good production from some of these guys. Jacobs comes just short. Not the best Rookie of the Year performance, but we'll definitely take it. Let's see, on the defensive side of the ball, 7 sacks for Furl. That is a good rookie season. I'm not going to complain about that. Gary and Conley definitely stepped up. Trayvon Mullen had 114 tackles at corner. And Jonathan Abram had 94 despite not starting the whole season. So I'm really not disappointed in how these guys played. That's honestly a pretty ideal season for the Raiders. Let's see what our upgrade situation here is. Somehow Josh Jacobs didn't get an upgrade despite winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. Not quite sure how that happens. But Nevin Lawson, we'll do him. He got an extension. I don't really know why anyone wouldn't do the slot upgrade every time. We'll do a speed rush this time for Clelin Ferrell now that he's gotten some power to his game. Only one finesse move. Abram. Gonna go run support for him. Sills gets an upgrade here. Go physical. Ooh, he gets a speed boost. He could play a role for us next year. Alright, we'll go ahead and auto the rest of these. So, advancing to the Super Bowl. Browns and Cowboys. There's our awards for Josh Jacobs there. Not sure why that took a while, but that's more like it. We'll do a power and an elusive. How about that? Ooh, acceleration and agility. All right, Josh Jacobs. All right, well, heading into the offseason now. Honestly, not too bad. I'm pretty happy with that first season. It's setting up for a potentially really exciting offseason. I don't think the smart football heads really expected a whole lot from the Raiders. I'm going to offer a 1-year extension to Dwan Smoot. We need that youth. Arden Key did not do anything. He is not going to play a role next year, so good to keep Dwan Smoot around. Witherspoon, we'll let him go. I am going to extend David Sills, but he is asking for quite a bit. He's not going to play a guaranteed role. To give him a 2-year contract with guaranteed money, we'll let him test and hopefully re-sign him. The rest of these guys, I am going to let go. I guess we'll extend our long snapper here. So the Cowboys win the Super Bowl. Congratulations to Dak Prescott. They capitalize on that window before they have to pay everyone. So we are entering the free agency here with $34 million in cap space, but we do have some players that we could release if we so desired. So in this world, because I have not gotten to Ryan Shazier, Shazier is going to have the comeback story. I am not going to go that route because I don't think that's part of a realistic rebuild on our end. Packers are smart. They let Blake Martinez go. So this is the beauty of the new Madden, right? Players will actually demand money, hit free agency. It's not like the old Maddens where you have just countless cap space because these guys are asking for nothing. So Derek Carr, it's time to let you go, buddy. An obvious cut there clears up a ton of cap space. We're going to comb through. There's really a lot of cuts we could make here. Tyrell Williams did not play much of a factor at all. No guaranteed money left. Time to let him go. That's the beauty of that contract. It looked big on the surface, but after a disappointing first season, we can let him go. Tahir Whitehead, again, a disappointing player here. Big signing from 2 years ago, but time to let him go. We are really clearing things up here. The Raiders have made some big free agency signings, but they've left the door open to get out of a lot of this stuff, which you like. We are going to need a kicker, so that's going to open up a ton of cap space. I just saw we have the second pick in the draft, so now $66 million in cap space. That's more like it. We definitely need a number 2 wide receiver on the other side of Antonio Brown. Now Nelson Aguilar somehow managed to gain superstar here. I don't think he normally has it. That'd be pretty ridiculous if he did. Bringing him back to California definitely appeals to me to be the number 2 wide receiver here. It's not going to come cheap, as most of these wide receivers do not. Close to $10 million, but we really need that weapon, especially because Antonio Brown's not getting any younger here, and we're probably going to have a rookie quarterback here we want to support. So hopefully this doesn't come back to bite us. But just north of $10 million there for Nelson Aguilar. And it's no guarantee. The Bucs are competing for him as well. Maybe I should just boost this bonus up just a little bit more. $31 million. Still have not surpassed the Bucs. He's being tricky. Come on, man. How much more do you need? You're Nelson Aguilar. All right, there we go. Hopefully we get him. That would certainly help us out. We'll wait on tight end, though we do need someone. Some linemen hit the market here. This is a big focus for me, is getting that left guard. And 2 guys hit the market here. Joe Thuney is a total stud. He's played now with Trent Brown, trying to kind of just poach from the Patriots. I'm going to go after Joe Thuney here. Give him plenty of money. So he likes that. That would really secure a pretty solid offensive line and a good surrounding core here for whoever our quarterback is next year. Let's take a look at the defense. Yannick Ngakoue becomes available. He's a little too pricey, although he's not asking for that much. And the Cowboys want him. I mean, he is asking for over $10 million, but I'm going to make a run here for Ngakoue because just to save the realism here, because the Cowboys cannot afford Yannick Ngakoue. And they just won the Super Bowl. So close to $14 million a year there for Ngakoue. And then we still have cap space to go after Ngakoue's teammate here, Miles Jack. Basically pulling a Cleveland Browns here. Suck for a year and then load up on free agents with all the cap space we have. About $11 million, a 5-year massive contract there for Miles Jack, but he can be the savior of that defense. And then at corner, I'm actually going to stick with the guys we have. It's a little risky. Really, the secondary as a whole, I think our guys actually played pretty well last year, so we'll reward them, keep them around. I do need a kicker. The Rams lose Greg Zuerlein with all of their impending cap issues. Probably getting prepared there to pay their quarterback, so we'll give Zuerlein some money. We're also going to upgrade at punter because we have the money. And let's see, how good are you at recruiting, John Gruden? All right, we get Miles Jack, Joe Thuney, Nelson Aguilar, Yannick Ngakoue, and the kicker and punter. What an offseason. I don't think we lost any of the guys we were going after. So that leaves us $26 million to clean up the scraps here. We're going to do that in the 3rd week, as I like to do. We need some running back depth. LaShawn McCoy can still play a little bit. I'm just going to give him a 1-year offer. Don't know how much he'll like this. Giovanni Bernard is available. I'm going to make this a 1-year offer. So a couple of more scat back types. How about more of a runner of the football? Isaiah Crowell, you want to try this again? Not going to guarantee you that much, though, coming off that injury. Our guy David Sills did not receive any offers, so I'm going to go ahead and make an offer to him. Actually going to give him a 2-year deal, about $1 million a year. If he doesn't take that, we should be able to still get him. Vernon Davis still wants to play here, huh? Bring him back to the Bay Area for a year. Charles Clay for some depth. Gonna sign Josh Wells for some veteran tackle depth. Should be good on the offensive line. I like our D-line, but Margus Hunt would give us some versatility. He can play some end and interior. And that'll do it. Let's go to the draft. Able to get a good chunk of those guys. We'll still have some room to clean up in the preseason free agency. So here we go. Let's start drafting. First pick in the draft, Jake Fromm to the Miami Dolphins. So Josh Rosen, that era is over. Now that does leave us with Tua, though. Hear me out. We just finished as one of the worst teams in the league. Are we sure that Tua is going to come in here as a rookie and lead us all the way to where we need to be? We have put a good surrounding core around here, but Trevor Lawrence is in next year's draft, and there is no guarantee that either of these guys go in the first round. There are prospects like Jerry Jeudy, Derek Brown, Andrew Thomas available. Are we sure we want to take a quarterback that I don't know if is a guaranteed franchise quarterback and pass on a prospect like this? Antonio Brown is not getting any younger. We did sign Nelson Aguilar, but wide receiver is a need for us. This would ensure that our quarterback, whoever it may be, will have dominant weapons. I think I am going to go this route and draft Jerry Jeudy, who is one of the best receiver prospects out of a college that has consistently pumped these guys out. And there is still a chance that a quarterback will be there for us with our next pick. So that's going to be the pick for us at number 2. And here we go with the Bears pick that I completely forgot that we have. So the Bears not able to really capitalize on the Khalil Mack trade, but the quarterbacks do go. Now we signed Myles Jack here, but we could polish up this linebacking core with a high-end prospect like Isaiah Simmons to put next to Myles Jack and really shore up our front seven. I think that's going to be the pick here. A couple of really high-quality picks. We know Gruden loves Bama guys, Clemson guys. I think this is all part of the plan here in Oakland. Let's go to our next pick. So we don't have that second-round pick. Poor planning on my end, but it is what it is. So in the 3rd round, we are into the fictional players now because I have not completed this draft class. But we don't have a quarterback on our roster yet. We do have a pocket passing field general here out of Memphis, an accurate player. He seems like the kind of prospect that we might want to try out here. 60 overall, but an accurate guy. The throw power scouting was poorly executed there. He does have 82. So obviously Ralph Meyer probably not going to be our long-term answer there, but he at least is accurate and might not be the worst thing ever there. But there's other options as well. We could trade for a guy like Josh Rosen. So here is our Cowboys pick now. It's a good-looking, big-body defensive tackle type. 61 overall. But a power rusher who might develop here. These draft classes can be a little rough. Got another pick here. Maybe some help on this offensive line here. Did not scout this guy, but he is a freak. There we go. There's a pick. Oliver Sampson. 6'5", 313. He is going to be a good pick there for us. Not going to have to start right away, but he can develop. 5th round now. Let's grab an Ohio State running back. Oh my gosh, he's awful. He's a good athlete, but whoa, he is bad. No rookie running back should be that bad, Madden. I think that's an evidence that we're still going to have to do custom draft classes because, wow. This guy looks like he could be a center prospect for us. 76 pass block, you could do worse than that. We're going to convert him to center. Going to throw a dart at a corner here. 6'1", decent athlete, good broad jump. Let's take a chance. 60 overall. Not very fast, though. Probably going to be a fringe roster guy there. So that's the draft. We have put really a good surrounding core around here, but we do not have a quarterback that we're comfortable with right now. When I passed on the quarterback, my plan really was to trade for Josh Rosen. Now, I don't know what the game is going to let us get away with here, but I am going to try and trade a 4th round pick for Josh Rosen. He's now not worked out in 2 situations. That to me is the realistic value. I might have to cheat the game to get this done, but let's see what they think when we offer it. To me, this is a realistic move, even though they did not accept the offer. Went for close to a 3rd round last year. Disappointed. His team ended up getting the first pick in the draft. Now getting moved again here. So we're going to offer our 4th round pick here for punter Josh Rosen and then convert him. I do think to compensate for doing that, I will get rid of his star development and put him down to normal development. But hey, did not have much room to succeed there in Miami. Now going to have some really good receivers, a much better offensive line. Maybe he can figure it out here.